Toffee TV. This is the Everton News Daily. I didn't think I was going to do one today, but I just thought I'd do one because there's a little bit of news around. We might as well get it wrapped up. Obviously, yesterday was transfer deadline day. If you haven't already seen yesterday's Everton News Daily, go and watch it. We talk about all the news from yesterday and obviously the signing of Ener Valencia. Make sure you go and check out the Toffee TV Reacts video on the sign of Ener Valencia. We've got a couple of the West Ham fans in from West Ham Fan TV who give us all the lowdown on Ener Valencia. And let's be honest, where else is best to get it? You can watch TV, you can listen to whatever, you can read whatever, but we've got it first hand from a couple of honest West Ham fans who give us the lowdown on the players. So make sure you check that out. Obviously, a bit of fallout today from everything that went on yesterday. First of all, Ener Valencia, number 19, has been given the number 19 shirt at Everton. Let's just get that out of the way. Bit of fallout from the Sissoko situation. Jim White, who has been sprinkling us with his knowledge, with his tweets from Farhad Moshiri in the last couple of weeks regarding that Moshiri was anxious to get deals done and different bits and bobs. Today he's revealed he tweeted. Today put a note on his tweet, and it said it was a statement from Farhad Moshiri. It said, "Sissoko is a great player, but when I bought into Everton, I made it clear I was proud to join the family, and we don't turn our backs on our own. Keeping James McCarthy was a priority, and ultimately we could not proceed with a deal that would jeopardise his place at Everton. We wish Sissoko the best." What the hell does that mean? What does that... Number one, is that real? Is that real? Is that a real statement from Farhad Moshiri? And if it is real, why the hell is Farhad Moshiri, who has all the tools at his disposal of Everton Football Club and their media department, which, let me tell you, is one of the biggest media departments in Premier League football, why isn't he not using that to talk directly to the fans of Everton? Why is he going through someone like Jim White, who... no, there's no way I can really say, you know, Jim White works for Sky, he works for TalkSport, he is a third party, and obviously has a lot of sway because of the way he's used himself in the whole transfer deadline day and all this kind of thing. Why is Farhad Moshiri not using Everton Football Club to get his message out to the Everton fans? Forget about Sky, forget about everything else. Everton Football Club is the only real legitimate place you can get confirmed things. Let's be honest about that. You know, we can say what we want, but we get a lot of it from you know, Everton Football Club and different that. We know there's different sources and all that kind of thing, but if you want absolute clarity on something, you go to Everton Football Club, especially on matters like this. So why is he not using Everton Football Club to get this message across to the fans? Because that's who this message is for. It's for the Everton fans. So, because the minute a third party is brought up, it's, did he really say this? And that causes enough problems on its own. So, this is something Everton Football Club have got to get sorted as far as I'm concerned. You know, they're very, very quick. They're very, very quick to not allow players to talk to they don't even allow some ex-players to talk to me, which I found out last week. So why is the majority owner going through Jim White and not through Everton Football Club and making his message very, very clear? I think it just it just leaves this statement open to be questioned a lot. Now the statement itself, is this coming? If this is Moshiri, is it coming from Moshiri? Surely the manager has final say on the ins and outs of the club. Keeping James McCarthy was a priority, but was it a priority? And what does that mean? Did Everton bid 30 million and Spurs match it, and Newcastle say, well, we want James McCarthy? Is that what happened? You know, this statements. I preferred it when Everton kept quiet. Statements like this. raise more questions than answers, and that's an issue to me. I know we like Everton to be clear, we like the clarity, but this doesn't say anything to me. This is a really weird statement. I just don't understand this statement. I just don't. It's just weird. And I know what he's saying. You know, he's proud to be part of the family, but James McCarthy isn't part of the Everton family. Not many players actually are part of the Everton family. Fans are part of the Everton family. James McCarthy's a player, and he can be sold like anyone else. And I just don't understand this statement. I don't quite understand what it means. Listen, I'd rather Everton come out. I'd rather Everton than say no and said, listen, we offer 30 million, so does Spurs. Spurs can offer European football, Champions League football, and they can also offer living in London, which is a great draw to these people, to these players. You can go and live in London and not be bothered. You are a stranger walking down the street to most people in London. That's how London is. You know, you can live in the middle of a city and not have to hide your wealth in London, I think. Liverpool's a very much a smaller place. In fact, a lot of the Everton players don't live in Liverpool. They live in Manchester. They live in Hale. They live in Wilmslow. You know, most Everton players who are not from Liverpool have probably never seen Liverpool City Centre. Never been to Liverpool City Centre. That's a fact. That's a fact. So there's no disgrace in saying that Everton lost out to a player because of a team in the Champions League. No issues with that. It happened with Perez. So this statement, number one, I think Everton Football Club need to clarify this. They need to not come out and say that's real or not real. Just have an have this version, have a version, have another version, have another statement for the Everton website. Fahad Moshiri's been very, very quiet. Yet Jim White seems to have a very direct line to him, and I don't understand that. And I don't want to have one of these owners that is like the West Ham owners, where they're always talking to certain members of the media, or sons are telling everyone that deals are being done and all this nonsense. You know, he's the owner of the club, basically. So act like it. Use the media. And so far I've had no problem with Moshiri, and I know there's other people who say, oh, I'm starting to question him. I've got no reason to question him in the world of finances, what he's doing for Everton. I think he's taking Everton forward. But I think one thing he's got to get right is this. And I don't like to see him talking to one member of the media when he should be talking to Everton fans directly. Because as I already said, fans won't take this as real. So get it on the Everton website. Get a little bit more of a more well constructed breakdown of what happened, and put on the Everton website. I'd rather there just wasn't any explanations whatsoever, but you've done it now. So clarify it. You've tried to clarify something and you've muddied the waters. This is probably why Everton haven't ever done this stuff. So do me a favor. Come on. Someone at Everton surely today must have been looking at that and going, what? Why have we done that? Someone in the media department must have gone, why didn't that go through us? He doesn't have to go through them. I understand that because he's the owner, but surely, in the world we live in now, where football clubs are trying to control everything they say and do, to go through their website, to go through their channels, to go through their videos, so that when they do an interview, they do it with Everton first, and then Sky have to pick up that interview, and in the corner it says Everton TV. That's why they do it. They want exclusivity to everything. They want to own all their own stuff. And I can understand why they do that. It's why they don't want me talking to people, because they don't think they can control what I say. when I ask a question. So, why haven't they got Farhad Moshiri in front of a camera asking that question? There you go. Anyway, questions in the comment, anything in the comments, stick it in the comments. And thanks for watching Toffee TV. This will probably be the last daily. So thanks for watching them, and thanks for watching everything else, and I'll catch you later on Toffee TV.